What's up everybody? Welcome to the Stocks channel. My name is Corey and today we had a pretty bullish day in the stock market. Pretty much all the indices going higher except for the Dow Jones. First up, let's take a look at the S&P500 SPY ETF. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. Alright, we saw SPY going up a little over 0.2% today with another price action close back above the 5 EMA, and we're still in a very strong bull trend for the S&P 500. So note we are still going up on low volume, so we're still in that low volume melt up phase, and remember we're not getting any high volume selling. Even when we had that little bit of a panic sell event on the news, we still held up above that critical support at 412. So right now we're heading up to all-time highs, and we did see SPY closing at brand new all-time high today. So this is what to expect when the market gets this bullish and there's nobody selling. Eventually, one of these price targets I'm giving you will trigger a mini correction, and then we will likely see more selling after that happens. So right now, watch the critical price targets above because any one of these levels could lead to more selling. The first level I want you to watch on SPY is at 418, and then we have 423 and 426. We're more than likely going to break up over this 418 level with this very bullish week with some big tech earnings coming up. So watch the price action very closely. If we do break and close over 418, we're likely going to get to 423 in a hurry because there's very little resistance above 418. Critical downside support is still going to be 415 and 412 with that 20 simple moving average now right around $410. Remember, in a strong bull market, the strongest support level is always going to be that 20 simple moving average. We also need to break down below the 20 simple moving average to reverse the bullish trend. So right now the trend is still very strongly bullish and the price action is still holding up above the 5 EMA as we march to all-time highs. Next up is the NASDAQ 100 QQQs ETF, and we saw the QQQs doing very well today, going up about 0.65%. We saw the QQQs getting very close to closing at an all-time high, but we did not quite get there just yet. The next critical resistance levels on the QQQs are going to be 343, 345, and 350. The price target I'm watching for is above at 350, but we will have significant resistance to get through at 343 and 345. The price action still closing well above the 5 EMA, and we're still in a very strong bull trend. Critical resistance levels on the QQQs are 339 and right around that 20 simple moving average and that critical support level at 334. Remember, we need to break back below that 20 simple moving average to start reversing this bull trend, and right now the trend is still very strongly stacked to the bull side. We are going up on low volume and we're not seeing any sellers out there, so watch these critical resistance levels for possible selling opportunities. Next up is the Dow Jones ETF, and we did see the Dow Jones finding resistance right around that previous all-time high right around 341. We did close above the 5 EMA with the price action and we're still in that strong bull trend. The critical resistance levels on the Dow Jones are right around 341 and the next price target above at 347. We do have downside support right around 337, and that 20 simple moving average is also right around that level, just sitting a little bit higher than 336. So the Dow Jones is getting very congested between about 337 and 341, and it is possible it's going to break out and start running to the next price target at 347. Remember, the price action would have to close below 337 on the Dow Jones to start reversing this bullish trend. This looks a lot like a bull flag forming where we're consolidating and going sideways and correcting through time ever since we hit that previous all-time high. So look for this to break out to the upside or the downside in the very near future. On the Russell 2000, we went up over 1% today and blasted through that resistance level at 227. Remember, on Friday, we did get a bull breakout of this downward resistance trend line, and the Russell 2000 did follow through with that breakthrough today. Remember, all of the moving averages on the Russell 2000 are now stacked to the bull side, and the price action is following through with the trend and confirming that we're going back into a full bull market. So this is now possible the Russell 2000 is going to try to form all-time highs very soon. So watch critical resistance levels above at 230 and 234. Downside support is now going to be 227, the breakout right around 223, and that 20 simple moving average at 222. Also note that we're melting up on low volume and we still don't see any sellers. Next up is the ARKK ETF, and we see ARKK doing the best today, going up over 3.2%. So Kathy Wood's finally finding traction in her ETFs here, and we did get a price action close back above that 50 EMA. The 50 EMA support level is right around 125 with that 20 simple moving average right around 122. We will have upside resistance at 129, 133, and 139. Note that we don't have a bull trend just yet, but we will see a bull trend very soon on ARKK if the price action can stay above 125. So I really like how ARKK is starting to set up in a bullish trend, and this could be one of the best buying opportunities to buy it low before it starts running back into a bull market. So if you're trying to get into ARKK, watch the price action, and as long as it's staying above 125, and building up bullish momentum, it could be a good opportunity to start accumulating at these levels and getting ready for the next bull run. Next up is the VIX, which is our fear indicator. And today we see the VIX closing higher with the S&P 500 also closing higher. Normally we want to see the VIX go lower when the S&P 500 goes higher, but with SPY closing at all-time highs, it's not that abnormal to see the VIX creeping up just a little bit. People are putting on hedges and people are getting just a little more fearful as the market goes higher. That's completely normal, and I don't see anything crazy in the VIX to hint otherwise. Right now we see the VIX closing below resistance at 18.2, and it still looks like it's in a very strong bear trend, and it does look like the VIX wants to go down for another leg lower, possibly down back towards 16. So remember, with a low VIX, there's not a lot of fear in the market, and we're likely going to continue to see all-time highs in this market. And as long as it's staying below 18.2 and not spiking back above 20, we're likely going to continue to melt up on low volume to all-time highs. Next up is gold, and we still see gold consolidating above that support level at 1776 as it continues to build up a bullish trend. That 20 simple moving average will be crossing back above the 50 EMA in the very near future as we continue to trend up on gold to the next price target at 1829. The critical support levels on gold are going to be 1776 and the 50 EMA right around 1764. On silver, we're also consolidating above the 5 EMA, building up a bull trend, and that 20 simple moving average is getting ready to try to cross back above the 50 EMA. Critical support on silver is going to be that 50 EMA right around 2576, with the next price target above at 2650 and 2764. Next up is Bitcoin, which is currently up over 9%, and it does look like we're getting a little bit of a dead cat bounce. Bitcoin was just bleeding out and it was going down in a straight line and it was getting heavily oversold. So this doesn't mean that Bitcoin is back just yet. This is just still a dead cat bounce until proven otherwise. Bitcoin is currently finding resistance at the 13 EMA. All of the moving averages are still negatively sloping in the higher degree, and we still are holding down below the 50 EMA on the price action. So in order for Bitcoin to reverse this correction and go back into a bull trend, Bitcoin needs to get a closing price over 55,000. Remember that the support level below is 45,000, and we have yet to hit that level, which means we still could break down and go retest that support level since we never actually got there. However, we are trading above the support level above at 51,000, and that level could still be support. So look for Bitcoin support levels at 51,000 and 45,000, knowing that if 45,000 breaks down, the next support level is down at 30,000. Upside resistance is going to be that 50 EMA and this $55,000 resistance level. Keep in mind the 20 simple moving average is still negatively sloping, and Bitcoin is not out of the woods yet just because it's having one good day. On Amazon, we went up over 2% today and on a ton of volume. You could see that we had a huge volume spike today, going with the bullish price action and the bullish breakout of the resistance trend line. So this is a very bullish event for Amazon, and we do have earnings coming up in just a couple more days. The price targets above on Amazon are $34.42 and $34.83, with downside support at $33.72 and right around $32.97. Amazon is looking very good, and it looks like it's ready to go up for its next leg higher. So we'll likely see Amazon trading very near or at all-time highs going into earnings, which does price in perfection, so don't be surprised if we see a sell the news event after Amazon reports. Even if they beat expectations, it's going to be priced in and we could still see profit taking. Note that Amazon is in a full bull trend, so there will likely be people buying up the dip if there is a dip, and we'll continue to see Amazon looking very bullish in the upcoming weeks. Next up is Tesla stock, and we see Tesla going up just a little bit over 1.2% today, and Tesla did have earnings after the bell, so tomorrow's price action will be very critical. We have critical support on Tesla at 718 and the 50 EMA right around 705, and we could see we're just about one day away from that 20 simple moving average crossing back above the 50 EMA, which means Tesla will be in a full bull trend. So watch the resistance levels above on Tesla, because a breakout above 763 is a bullish breakout of the downside resistance trend line. The price target on Tesla on a breakout will be right around 802. Next up is Apple stock, and we see Apple going up just a little bit today, going up 0.3% and closing back above that support level right at 134. Apple's in that full bull trend and has yet to hit the price target above at 137. Downside support is 134 and that 20 simple moving average right around $130. Apple has earnings coming up very soon, and it does look like it wants to go up for one leg higher going into earnings. So this is a common theme we're seeing with the big tech names, where they're pricing in the earnings ahead of time, and we could see selling coming afterward. Don't just assume that it has to have selling afterward, but it is being priced in for perfection. So also be prepared for a possible sell the news event, even if Apple has a smashing earnings report and does very well. Next up is the financial sector, and we see the financials closing back above the 5 EMA yet again and still maintaining that bullish trend. On the industrials, we dropped 0.3% today, still holding up over the 5 EMA and still holding up with that bullish trend. On the healthcare sector, we dropped 0.34% today, still maintaining the bullish price action with the very strong bull trend. On the energy sector, we closed just above the 50 EMA today, which is bullish price action, but we still don't have a bullish trend. We need to see the energy sector try to break out of this downward trend to go back into a bull market. So going back to the S&P 500, you can still see that we have bullish sectors across the board, with the laggard being the energy sector, and we still have a low VIX, which means we have low fear. This market is going to continue to melt up on low volume until we get to one of these price targets that does trigger some selling and possibly a stock market correction. So I still expect to see a leg higher going into this week, and we have a ton of big earnings coming up in the middle of the week and near the end of the week. There's a lot of speculation and there's a lot of big companies that are reporting this week, so don't expect to see any major selling in the market until we get through earnings season. Right now, we're likely going to see low volume and things are just going to be very quiet until we see what happens with these big earnings. So right now, the path of least resistance is still up, and don't forget you want to be a bull in a bull market. We still have a very strong bull trend across the board in all three indices, and we still have a lot of liquidity in this market. So don't go against the trend, just let the trend be your friend and know these price targets above. Also remember, on the Stocks Channel Discord, I'm bringing you intraday updates and analysis on the market to always help you stay on the right side of the market. I'm also bringing new trade ideas weekly to help you absolutely crush this market. If you're interested in joining the Stocks Channel Discord trading community, you can find out how to join by clicking on the link in the description of the video. Alright, next up, let's take a look at our trade idea Shopify, and we did see Shopify holding out today, going up over 6%. And bouncing off of that critical support level. Remember that I said we're going to let Shopify loose if it closed below 1100, and it closed on Friday just at 10.99. So that $1 was too close to call, and this is exactly why you don't cut something loose when it's that close. If you sold Shopify for $1 below that support level, you missed out on a gargantuan 6% run up the very next day. So don't let price action shake you out of your position when it's that close. Remember, these price targets are very much like a cloud, and you don't want to look at them to the dollar and to the exact cent. You want to always have a stop loss some percent below your support level, and you want to set that percent below the support based on your risk management strategy. So right now, if we can get Shopify to get back above the 50 EMA right at 1169, Shopify could go back into a bull market and we could hit these new price targets that I have for you here. We still need to break out and form a new daily higher high. So that means we do need to break above 1242 to get to these next price targets at 1332, 1390, and 1483. Keep in mind, these price targets are not validated until we get back above that 50 EMA and break over to a daily higher high. So right now, the most critical price targets to watch on Shop are going to be 1169 and 1242. Also remember that earnings is coming up very soon on Shopify, and I really don't suggest gambling on a stock going into earnings. So if you're going to trade Shopify before earnings, make sure you're managing your risk and you don't take on way too much risk going into an earnings report. We did see a nice increase of volume today on a nice green bullish day, which is good news for Shopify, and it does imply that we're likely going to see higher prices. All right, next up, I'm going to bring you a brand new trade idea, and I want to bring you a trade idea that is not so close to earnings. The next trade idea I want to present to you is Disney stock, ticker symbol DIS, and we do have earnings on Disney coming out around middle of May. So we still have plenty of time to trade this stock before earnings, and we can see that Disney is in a very nice consolidation wedge and holding up above critical support at 181. So the first thing we need to see on Disney stock is we need to see a breakout above this 50 EMA, which is right around 185.50. On a break above the 50 EMA, we still have a downward resistance trend line to break out of right around 187, and on that breakout, we'll be looking for price targets at 189, 192, and 194. Now the support levels on Disney are going to be right on top of the 5 EMA at 184, and if we break down below that level, we're looking for a retest of support right around 181. We're going to cut Disney stock loose for a loss if it does close some percent that we manage with our risk below the support level at 181. So know your risk management and know how much you're willing to risk below the support level, knowing that we could go all the way up to about $194. So this is a brand new trade idea, and we'll continue to cover it until we get to these price targets, and we will cover it going up to earnings if necessary. Remember that I bring new trade ideas to you weekly on the Stocks Channel Discord, so if you're looking for more trade ideas, you can find out how to join the Stocks Channel Discord by clicking on the link in the description of the video. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.